Russia's disinformation campaigns, NATO fights back. In recent years, there has been a noticeable increase in the use of disinformation by Russia as a political weapon. This disinformation is disseminated through various channels, including social media and state-controlled media outlets. The goal of these campaigns is to destabilize democratic governments and societies, as well as to sow chaos and confusion. NATO has been fighting back against these disinformation campaigns, recognizing the damage they can cause. One of the key ways in which NATO is fighting back is through the use of strategic communication. This involves carefully crafting messages and disseminating them through a variety of channels, including social media, traditional media, and direct engagement with target audiences. The aim of strategic communication is to counter Russian disinformation and to present NATO's perspective on issues of importance. Another important way in which NATO is fighting back is through monitoring and analyzing disinformation campaigns. NATO has invested in a dedicated team to identify and track Russian disinformation campaigns. The team analyzes the tactics and strategies used by the Russians and creates countermessages to combat the negative impact of these campaigns. NATO has also been collaborating with member states and partner organizations to share information and expertise on countering disinformation. For example, the European Union's East Stratcom Task Force has been working closely with NATO to share information and best practices on countering disinformation. This collaboration has helped both organizations to develop more effective strategies for countering Russian disinformation. One of the key challenges facing NATO in countering disinformation is the sheer volume and complexity of the campaigns. Russian disinformation campaigns are often highly sophisticated and targeted, making it difficult for NATO to effectively respond. Additionally, many of these campaigns are disguised as legitimate news stories, making it difficult for the public to distinguish between fact and fiction. To address this challenge, NATO has been investing in media literacy programs aimed at educating the public on how to spot and avoid falling for disinformation. These programs provide guidance on how to confirm the validity of a news story and how to avoid being swayed by misleading information. By increasing media literacy, NATO hopes to make it more difficult for Russian disinformation campaigns to gain traction. Overall, NATO's approach to countering Russian disinformation campaigns has been multifaceted. The organization recognizes that these campaigns are a serious threat and that they require a coordinated and strategic response. Through the use of strategic communication, monitoring, collaboration, and media literacy, NATO is working to combat the effects of Russian disinformation campaigns. However, the fight against disinformation is far from over. As we saw in the recent U.S. presidential election, disinformation remains a powerful tool in the political arena. It is likely that Russian disinformation campaigns will continue to increase in sophistication and scope in the coming years. NATO must remain vigilant and continue to invest in countering disinformation if it wishes to protect democratic societies from the damaging effects of Russian political warfare. In conclusion, Russia's disinformation campaigns are a serious threat to democratic societies and governments. NATO is fighting back against these campaigns through a variety of strategies and approaches, including strategic communication, monitoring and analysis, collaboration, and media literacy. While there is no easy solution to countering disinformation, NATO's efforts represent an important step towards protecting democratic values and institutions.